from start to finish, and I know you loved every moment of it.
Yeah, they was masterful. You know, I think Juventus would get on the plane and they would just be happy that it was only 4, because there was some beautiful football there. Szczesny made a couple of fantastic saves, we see, and this is a step on from what I saw Saturday from the team. Different personnel. Remember Lukaku's not starting, Werner's not starting. That's £150 million worth of talent in the striking areas, and you've scored 4 goals past Juventus, and you start to run out of words to describe what the team's doing. Top of the Champions League group, top of the Premier League, champions of Europe, and with a team full of academy graduates, it's going to be hard for anyone to stop them.
Yeah, and they have a really lovely balance throughout the squad, don't they?
Yeah, they do, and I think for the first time in a while, you probably couldn't guess Chelsea's best 11 now, because the likes of Hudson-Odoi, Chalobah tonight, have really staked a claim. Loftus-Cheek, when he came on, looked impressive, and he has been impressive of late. So, yeah, they're in a really good moment. It was a good game for them tonight, because sometimes Champions League games in the 5th game and the 6th game of the tournament, they're a bit of a non-event. But Chelsea needed to have a performance tonight. They needed a victory. If they wanted to cement themselves in first place, they needed to be positive tonight. And I thought they were excellent. And Juventus will be OK, because they're going to qualify as well. They've qualified. But they're nowhere near as good as Chelsea. And going forward, they don't want to miss... They can't get them in the next round, but they don't want to play any of the English sides in the next round, because today, what you've seen of Juventus coming out of Serie A, they're nowhere near good enough to actually threaten any of the English teams now.
Well, Thomas Tuchel took charge of his 50th game for Chelsea tonight, and he has every reason to celebrate. Here he is, talking to Freshman.
Thomas, you said before the game that you needed to be in control of the match. You were. You're now in control of the group. You're through to the last 16, top on goal difference. And what a performance as well.
Yeah, very good performance. It was, we wanted to stay patient, but we did not want to fall asleep. So it was the challenge to have both things, be patient and still increase constantly the rhythm and the intensity. And yeah, I have to say the team did very, very well. It's so tough to score goals, to create chances, and we scored so many, we created so much. So full credit, amazing performance and fantastic result.
They were so hard to break down in Turin, weren't they? But here, it was a completely different story.
Yeah, it was different behavior from us, of course. We were sharper, we were more determined, we took more risk in the areas of the pitch where it's necessary to take risk, and that increased the rhythm and that increased the intensity, and we lacked that in Juve, in Turin. We had control, but we did not hurt them. It was just control, and by pure control you cannot hurt Juventus. You need to penetrate, you need to do runs off the ball, and then it's a mix between patience and acceleration of the game, and yeah, we were very good and scored nice goals.
Yeah. And you've set a bit of a record today as well, because you've now conceded the least amount of goals than any other manager in their first 50 games in the English top flight, with 24 goals.
Was my 50th game today?
Apparently
as a
so.
Chelsea manager.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not bad. I mean, clean
Absolutely.
sheets have been so important. Shoring up that defence has been so important to your philosophy and this team as well, hasn't it?
Yeah, but it's not like it's not written over the manager's office. Defense is what counts. It's just part of the game, and it's a huge part of the game. And sometimes defending is the best defense to get control of games, to protect us against counterattacks. And this is what we do very good. So I feel us very aware, and we do unthankfully the invisible work, very, very disciplined, and we protect us against counterattacks. And when we have to defend, we dig in, we really defend. Yeah, and with a bit of luck and good goalkeeping is possible.
Of course. One of your defenders today came off the pitch, Ben Chilwell. I know he's been so positive for you. Any news on him?
Yeah, he has a sharp pain in the knee, and unfortunately in Golo as well. Also, like, he twisted his knee a little bit. Can tell you tomorrow more. They will be both examined. It's the only thing, two things which are very sad, because N'Golo was again fantastic until this moment when he went off, and Chile is in a fantastic moment, so important, and for him personally so strong. So let's hope for the best.
It was interesting to see you bring on Azpilicueta as opposed to Marcos Alonso, who would probably have been a natural replacement? Why did you do that?
True. Because I was so focused on this is my fault, and hopefully Marcos does not take this personally. I was so focused to bring Aspi on the field because I wanted to have him on the field because he like every game we have this discussion if he plays or not, and we have these decisions now against him since he injured his shoulder. And I said we need to bring him on the pitch. We need to bring him, and we prepared actually a substitution for Reece James. And then was the injury, and then I thought like, okay, so he plays left. And meanwhile, of course, the guys called Marcos, and it was a bit of confusion. It's on me.
Well, I'm sure Marcos will understand.
I hope so, yeah.
And just finally, look, you've got United at the weekend. Every single one of your players step up all the time. I feel like we ask you this all the time, but how on earth do you keep this squad happy?
Well, let's be honest, the best thing to keep them going and keep them happy is that we win. So everybody has to fight for the place. The guys who are on the pitch fight for their place. And still, if we have some tough decisions like with Aspi in the last weeks, or like today with Mason Mount and Hakim, I feel that they are disappointed, but they will never let the team down, and they will never show it for too long, and it does not affect their work ethic. So this is the secret in the moment, that we're in a good place because everybody steps up and everybody pushes each other. Sometimes you take tough decisions. It's like this in football. I can only start with 11 players, and it's a bit better in Champions League because we have 5 substitutes. But yeah, the best thing is that we win, and we want to keep on winning, of course.
Yeah, and it's a good headache to have. Thank you very much, Thomas.
You're certainly doing a good job of keeping all the fans happy, that is for sure. But you've got to give credit to him. He took charge of Chelsea on the 26th of January of this year. He hasn't even been there a year, and yet he's bringing so much positivity to this side.
I don't think a manager has come in, and certainly at this club, and had as the effect that he's had, straight the ground running, brought the group together. Going from strength to strength, like I said, built from the bottom up, built the foundations, got the defence sorted out. Mendy come into the side and has been a revelation. Brought Rudiger back in, so they started solid and built and built and built, and obviously to that crescendo of that amazing night in Porto where they won the Champions League. And then again, you go into the transfer market, you go and make a profit and bring Lukaku into your squad. So you strengthen there again. And then you have the lads going away for the Euros. They come back. He uses his squad brilliantly. He brings Ben Chilwell in at the right... He's got this amazing knack of bringing players in at the right time. It's like, when you get a good jockey, when he hits the horse at the right time to get it to go. And I think he does it with all of his players. He's connected with all of his squad, and he's doing a marvellous job. And Chelsea are very, very lucky to have him.
Absolutely. And I think when I spoke to Chelsea fans when he was appointed, a lot of them felt that would he still favour the academy players? Would he still play them? At the beginning, he didn't. But tonight is a great example of how he has used his academy players. Chalobah getting them off the mark tonight. Yeah,
and he'll only play them if they're good enough. Let's be honest. If they're not good enough to step up to the mark and perform like this, he would not play them, and you wouldn't expect him to play them. But every time he's called upon any of them, Joe will speak, of course, more about the academy than I can for Chelsea, but all you can talk about is what they've done this evening, and they were outstanding to a man, all of them. They get a bit of fortune here, of course. That would have been disallowed last year, the handball, well, not the handball per se, it bounces off Rudiger's arm into the path of Chalobah. But he finishes it really, really well, doesn't he, for his first goal in the Champions League, and a really proud moment. But it was a wonderful night for all of them. I mean, when you go through this Chelsea side, he's played about 7 or 8 in defence, hasn't he? Christensen, Azpilicueta, Alonso, who didn't feature tonight. Yet whenever any of them play, they all step up to the mark. And as Joe mentioned, the European Championships, the European champions, but not only that, they're sitting top of the group and they're sitting top of the league. So what? I mean, you don't even have to say anything about this strike, because this is Reece James all over it, isn't it? Once it falls from here, you know it's going to be in the back of the net. We've seen it in the first half today. We saw it against Newcastle, left foot, right foot. It absolutely doesn't matter. He just smashes right through that ball.
Do you know what, Mac, the touch does me? Because he knows when he's bringing it down his chest, he opens his body out there, bang. He knows he gives himself the angle, and then he rifles it. The connection, it really takes the camera out. Thomas Tuchel jokingly said to him, he shoots like a horse. I can't argue with that. He's such a great strike. Look at his touch here as well. Bang, deal with that. 1-2. Like Glenn was spot on. This is an 8-a-side goal. How can with the quality of Juventus' defenders, how can Chelsea be allowed to score this goal, Mac? Look in there. Look at that turn. Bang. We're lending it. One touch. Drop of the shoulder. Chop. Left foot. And then even the finish is class. It's just champagne football. This is champagne football. Enjoy yourselves.
Yeah, lovely goal, wasn't it? Full of confidence.
The perfect team goal, right?
Yeah, and you know, Reece James, Loftus-Cheek, Hudson-Odoi, all involved. Chalobah scored. Really nice night for the people involved in the further down the chain underneath Thomas Tuchel. And you see that Chelsea's a really well-run club at the moment, aren't they? From the academy, from the kids, all the way up. Everybody's pulling the weight. The jobs of the 18s and 23s and the development squads is to get players ready for this, the first team, and to challenge on the highest stage. And they're doing it really well. So a lot of credit needs to go to those boys as well. But a few bubbles were burst tonight. Juventus are not very good, are they? Yes, they've got a lot of the European champions in the team, but they didn't do anything tonight. They were way second best. They looked really slow and lethargic, and big mistake there from McKennie. Tap in for Werner.
For Juventus, Macca, it makes a mockery. You know the noises about them saying that they'd be better without Ronaldo and all that?
Yeah.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
I know.
Like, I don't know what the players are thinking. Tonight, that man there, Rabiot, he has a big reputation, played for France. He flatters us to deceive so much. Don't be too critical of them, but I expected more from a team of their
absolutely.
The amount of quality on the pitch. They showed nothing.
Well, here's a stat that Juventus fans won't want to hear, but they've conceded more goals at Stamford Bridge than Mendy has. Sorry, just thought I'd